Hello and welcome to the Sporting Index trading floor. My name's Carl, the Chief Sante, and I'm going to give you another view from the trading floor on what's happening this weekend on the Sporting Index trading desk, the movers and shakers and the bets we've taken so far, and what we expect to happen. Obviously we start as always with football. After the magic of the Cup, and I have to say, I'm sorry punters, it was a magic weekend for Sporting Index last week. We enjoyed a few of those upsets and not so high scoring games. We're back to the Premiership and there's some absolute cracking games for us. 3 o'clock on Saturday, we've got a struggling Borough versus almost a struggling Liverpool, who really need to get back to winning ways and stay in the Champions League slots in the Premiership. And we've got Supremacy there that's moved a lot. We're trading this game running, by the way. It's on Setanta at 3 o'clock. But it's a 0.8 to 1 Liverpool over now. It was 0.7 to 0.9. We've had a 25 grand goal bar of Supremacy there. And I can tell you one thing though, Borough seem to have the hoodoo over the big teams, so we're not too despondent about that bet at the moment. And they've had great results against Chelsea, United and Arsenal over the last couple of years. So for some reason, Borough, who are normally a very poor side, some of my best friends are Borough supporters, they won't mind me saying that, seem to do it against the big teams. Later, we've got the game they're all talking about, United against Newcastle. Newcastle managerless now. Will Harry Redknapp be there? Will he not? He may not even become their manager, we'll see. But this is a game that has plenty of goals in it. I remember my first ever spread bet was on this game in 1996. It's fond memory. I bought shirt numbers in the game and I was looking at the Racing Post, who's the highest shirt number, and up popped Philippe Albert, and he was number 26, and there's another 5 times 26, 5-0 to Newcastle. Those days are long since gone actually, because been 13 games since Newcastle have defeated Man United, and in 28 games they haven't beaten United Old Trafford. That's 1972, a fine year where many a great man was born. You can work out when I was born. Anyway, we've got United over 1.6, 1.8, and all the punters are coming on for United there. Although quite often you find that there's a new manager, it does lead to a better reaction from the side, but can't really see it myself. Total goals, that's the interesting one there, 2.8 to 3. We were 2.7, 2.9, immediately filled in for 20 grand buy at 2.9, and I don't blame him. This game has got a history of goals. Only one of the last 19 has had less than 2 goals, and quite a few of them have had games where players have scored 2 or more goals. So if you're looking for a good player goal minutes bet, you might get lucky on this game. Game that's not live in the Premiership, Chelsea v Spurs. This has been moved from Monday night. It was supposed to be a live game. It's now a non-live game on Saturday due to Spurs' appalling results against Reading last week, requiring a replay. And this is an interesting game where we see lots of interest on the bookings. They've gone up from 42.46 to 44.48. You might say that's quite low for a London derby, and you're quite right, because last season they 4 games averaged 71.25. But it is Wiley refereeing it, and we've got faith that he'll be able to control these two sides, despite the bitter acrimony between their supporters. Sunday, we've got a couple of not so great games, but I think they're interesting nonetheless. You've got Sunderland v Pompey, where we've seen a lot of interest in punters getting with Pompey. They might not have a manager by Sunday, but hopefully you'd think Harry has no reason to move up to the northeast. He's a rich man, he lives in Sandbanks, so why would he move up to Newcastle? Anyway, we've had a lot of interest in Pompey there, 0.1 your choice, and the punter's getting with Pompey, so don't be surprised if that goes off 0 to 0.2. Pompey do have a very good away record, a shocking home record, a great away record. Later on in the day, we've had interest in the goals in the Bolton-Blackburn game. They were 2.3, 2.5, got up to 2.4, 2.6. I wouldn't say Bolton are the most exciting team or involved in the most exciting games, but Blackburn do tend to be involved in the odd 5 or 6 goal thriller. There's no doubt Coventry fans will tell you from last weekend. Anyway, football-wise, we're trading 22 live games all in all this weekend, so please look at our website, because there should be some cracking games there for you. The Heineken Cup is back. The last 2 rounds of the Heineken Cup in consecutive weeks, and we've got 2 live games on the Friday evening for you, and they're both in the same pool, and they're very, very important games. You've got Cardiff and Bristol at the top of the pool at the moment. Cardiff just there on points difference, and Cardiff playing Harlequins, who are out the pool, and we've got 11-14 there. The fixed odds line around 10, 11, 12, and we're just a little bit higher there because we just think that Cardiff have got more to play for. Quins had a very poor result of the weekend, and we're not looking, hopefully, to attract too many buyers at 14. We just think it should be a bit higher than the fixed odds. I mean, if people do pay 14, well, at least we'll be shortened at good levels. No business really there on the points, and yes, again, it's miserable weather this weekend, so I would, before you're betting on any of these games on points and shirts and hot shots, make sure you do check out the weather forecast. It's very important. Stade Francais on the red button against Bristol. 11-14 we've got Stade over. Fixed odds lines around 13-14 there. Again, we think Bristol are better than people think, and in fact, in the very, very poor conditions in Bristol last time, they beat them 17-0, I believe it was. So they're going there, they've got a lot to play for. Stade have to win the game, and I don't think they'll be looking for bonus points. They're just there to look and win the game, which is why we're slightly less than the fixed odds lines there. Total points 35-38. We've seen a few sunners though, we were 36-39, and that is no doubt in reaction to what is a poor weather forecast in Paris, but you never know these weather forecasts. I've got many wrong in my time before. The NFL, now we're really getting to the business end of the season. We saw a couple of cracking games last week, none more so than Washington at Seattle. What a cracker. I don't know if anyone saw the last quarter there, but what was looking like a very boring game swung about 3 ways in about 2.5 minutes there. It was absolutely fantastic. And Seattle are the first team on this week where they when they travel to Green Bay. Punters liking Seattle this week. We were 8-10 Green Bay over, we're now 7-9. I'm not sure they're a team to trust, and Brett Favre has been superb this season. Well, we have seen business there is total points. We were 39-42, they've crept up to 40-43, and as a result we've moved our shirts up from 285 to 305 up to 293.10. Later, Sunday morning 1 AM, effectively Saturday evening, for those of you coming back late from a nice night out, you've got Jacksonville and New England. Jacksonville, the team everyone seems to want to be with at the moment, and we've got New England over 12-14 there. Not surprising, unbeaten in 16 games. But to be fair, New England of late have only won most of their games by about 3 or 4 points, so they are stuttering a bit, and you can't say, oh, it's because they're resting players. They wanted to get that record of going through the regular season. So I have to say, 12-14, the punters going with Jacksonville. I'm not surprised there. Jacksonville playing really well at the moment. Where we have seen a lot of interest is total points, and I'm not surprised. There's not many New England games that are less than 45 points, although there's been a few recently that have been less than 47 or so. But 48-51, the last 3 Jacksonville games have been over 60 points, and the punters have been buying that at 50, now 51. I wouldn't be surprised to see that go off 49-52. Similarly, the shirt numbers have been on the up, and they're up 5 to 295, 315. The other 2 games, you've got San Diego at Indy and Giants at Dallas. We haven't seen that much business in those games at the moment, but moment punters nibbling bits of New York Giants, so they're selling Dallas at 6. Not surprising, Dallas seem to have gone off the ball at the end of the season. Is it because they knew they were there? God knows. Anyway, and then Indy against San Diego, punters also getting against the favourite there, selling Indy at 8. We'll see what happens, but those are 4 cracking games and what promises to be a really exciting weekend for those of you who like gridiron. Anyway, we've got plenty more sport to bet on this weekend. If you look at our website, we've got the golf, we've got the Joburg Open, you've got the Sony Open, you've got the BDO Arras. As I said last week, not as good as the PDC, but still, if you like your darts, not bad. You've got great racing, you've got the Lanzarote at Kempton, the Pierce Hurdle at Leopardstown. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, on what promises to be a wet and miserable weekend, stay indoors, and I hope you stay with Sporting Index.